Hello, my name is John, and today we'll be reading Wanted, Someone to Trust. This article was written by Paul Johnson and posted on Forbes magazine. What the midterm elections proved is that the American people do not trust Barack Obama to lead them. And trust, that magic five-letter word, is the most important element in the relationship between a nation and its government. Trust has been of central importance in American history. During the long and exhausting War of Independence, the American people gradually learned to trust George Washington. They subsequently were happy to have him preside over the process of governing that led to the writing of the U.S. Constitution. The more one reflects on that wonderful document, the more extraordinary appears its birth. Washington felt this at the time, saying it struck him as little short of a miracle that the delegates from so many states should unite in forming a system of national government so little liable to well-founded objections. He further said it approached nearer to perfection than any government hitherto instituted among men, and was provided with more checks and barriers against the introduction of tyranny than any government previously devised by mortals. He later concluded that it came into being under the invisible hand of Providence. The central reason that the delegates were prepared to accept the Constitution and the states subsequently ratified it was that Washington was in charge of the process. He was the one man they all trusted. That trust proved to be justified. During Washington's 2 terms as president, he showed that the Constitution was workable. He then stepped down, without argument or fuss, and made way for another. By then, the Constitution had become a living thing, an organized part of America. Trust is always the best contract between a government and its people. It does not need to have a constitutional basis or legal definition, but it needs to be felt in the hearts and minds, the blood and bones, and it is reciprocal. A leader will never be trusted until he or she shows by attitude and conduct that he or she, in turn, trusts the people. I remember feeling this as a boy in 1940, when Britain was in danger of being drowned in the rapidly advancing tide of Nazi military success. We trusted Winston Churchill to save us, and he in turn trusted the British people to have the courage and endurance and the intelligence and strength to make salvation possible. I had a sense of déjà vu at the end of the 1970s. Britain was in an appalling state, with militant trade unions rendering elected governments impotent, while the economy was sliding into bankruptcy. For the first time in our history, we chose a woman to be Prime Minister. Slowly, the people's relationship with Margaret Thatcher became one of trust, and was strengthened over the course of some nasty and brutal attempts by the unions to overthrow constitutional government. The trust was justified. After a dozen years under the Iron Lady, Britain emerged strengthened and invigorated. In the U.S., something similar happened. The 1970s had also been a disastrous decade there, marked by a collapse in the nation's self-confidence. When Ronald Reagan first emerged on the national scene, many dismissed him as a second-rate movie actor. Gradually, however, trust built up. When Reagan was elected to a second term, he secured the enormous tally of 54.5 million votes, nearly 60% of the total, carrying 49 states and winning 525 votes in the Electoral College. The process of earning and granting trust are gradual and almost metaphysical. So it is that a good leader at some point ceases to be merely a politician, an office holder. He or she becomes a trusted institution, and from that point on the nation becomes healthier, more secure and thus happier. Britain has a new Prime Minister in David Cameron. He has begun well, but we don't know yet whether we can trust him. We shall see. As for the U.S., at few times in its history has it stood in greater need of a leader it can trust. The scars from the financial crises are still raw and unhealed. Unemployment is a cruel scourge, and there are terrible threats to the country's internal and external security, with the future overshadowed by emerging superpowers and competitors, and there is no one to trust. The U.S. has all kinds of problems, but its biggest over the course of the next 2 years is how to find a leader who will inspire through character and integrity, vision and resolution, courage and judgment, the belief, faith, and confidence that Americans have always warmly given to the right person, someone they can trust. This video is a production of the School of the White Crane. Hi, my name is John. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel, and please share this video with family and friends and on social media. May God richly bless you, my beloved.